the stadium down. Win more, lots more.
Folks, welcome in. It is not the show where it is wrestling with your budget. It is not the show where it is wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion. And we've got the panel back in here going around the horn. Slick L, my friend, your friend, our friend, Jake Micah, and the head of the table, Michael J. Bartham. Gents, interesting, a little bit of a disheveled week coming in. We had Crown Jewel in Perth, Slick's Perth. And then we also had a Seth Rollins breakup before noon on Monday, Eastern Standard Time. So a lot to get into on the WWE side of things. I'd say we kind of got to start with the fallout, right, from Raw. I mean, even though there was a lot the past week, kind of got to start where we're at, right? What do you think, Parthy?
A lot of questions coming out of Raw, and none of them are very clear. You could say the vision is very blurry, which I'm sure is a joke a lot of people have already said. Seth Rollins at this point is the boy who cried wolf. We cannot believe anything he says, anything he does, anything he's a part of. He basically earned this after SummerSlam. I mean, you want to work the boys, fine, one time, fine. Fool us once, shame on you. Fool us twice, shame on me, or something like that. He could legitimately be injured, and maybe it's just not as bad as people think. He could very much be injured, and people are just not going to buy it this time.
This is why you can't. Yeah. Even the backstage rumors, this is why you can't throw up the X and end a match randomly, because that was just what threw all this out of whack.
Well, that was a sign last time because they didn't throw up the X.
But like they basically did. They stopped the match out of nowhere. They talked to the ref. They did the modern day throwing up of the X for sure. So it just leaves a weird spot. And yeah, and now you're in a reality where like we kind of were running this storyline 2 months ago, and it just the long-term thinking clearly wasn't there. I hate to follow the critics. I love WWE and I love Seth Rollins, like truthfully, but the way they executed this was ass. The way that this all went down was kind of ass, because now you're stuck in this situation, Micah.
I like it if it's the thought that it comes back around where they're trying to ruse. If it's the one to get over on CM Punk, I'm here for it. Like, that's what I'm here. I think it would be hilarious if this is another chance that Punk loses in a world heavyweight. Sorry, Parthy, but I just think it would be very entertaining to keep this feud ongoing and keep Rollins on top for as long as they can, because they're clearly extending this as long as they can. Like, I wouldn't imagine that this next match coming up, I would imagine this match, if it happens, is at Survivor Series. Like, it's not going to be the blow off of anything there. Maybe that's a War Games match and those guys are involved anyway. So there's still a lot of moving parts and a lot of ground they want to cover clearly with this Punk Rollins thing. But that being said, it is very weird to go back to the same well this soon, and also to break up this group. If the breakup's for real, it's like, what was the point of all of this to begin with? Like, they didn't before they even really established
pretty quick
timeline. Just got the name. How long did they even get the name? Like,
dude, if they try to go
month and a half ago,
this wasn't real after dude took the hardest spear I've ever seen in a crazy tsunami. Like, they can't go back from that. I'm sorry.
That's one of the questions. How do you take a spear in a tsunami when you're legit injured? Especially,
Well, I'm saying you cannot just go back to the vision anymore. Like that is not even a possibility after the way they just attacked him. Like,
I didn't even think that was a possibility, but now you guys are making it sound to me like that could totally be a possibility. In my opinion, that would be like Ramsey Bolton being in like WWE. Like, that's what he would do. He would have his own action fake turn on him.
Think back to the old days when the corporation first started and Vince McMahon recruited The Rock. How did that start out? He was antagonizing The Rock and, saying, I got a problem with the People's Champion because I got a problem with the people, something to that effect. And The Rock, at one point before the Deadly Game tournament at Survivor Series for the WWE title, rock bottoms and people's elbows him. And then after the fact, when it was revealed, they were all in on it together, they were cutting a promo and The Rock was saying, hey, Vince, you were man enough to take the rock bottom and the people's elbow. A non-wrestler was man enough to take those finishers just to get one over on Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mankind.
Who are they getting one over on?
By jackhammer.
Punk. Who are they getting one over on by Seth taking a spear from hell and a tsunami off the top rope?
Punk, he'll do anything to screw Punk.
It lures Punk
He wasn't even out there though.
He was literally out there.
He was out there laying. He was out there laying on the ground outside the ring.
Yeah, he wasn't doing jack.
They kicked him out of the ring.
McCarthy,
let me
rewind it here. Let me rewind
tell he was even close to the ring. He wasn't.
Let's say this is the grand plan to get another one over on CM Punk. What is going to be like the payoff where this turns on CM Punk that they couldn't have just done from the very beginning?
They're trying to lure him into having a false sense of security for his one-on-one match, if it's still going to be on with Seth Rollins, which, by the way, is unofficially scheduled for November 1st at Saturday Night's Main Event, not Survivor Series. So it's basically going to have him say, okay, I don't need LA Knight or the Usos or any allies to have my back. It's just going to be me and Seth one-on-one. And he goes into that match, and then Breaker and Bronson come out. And maybe even Bronson spears Seth when it looks like, okay, who's he going to spear? Is he going to spear? He spears Seth, and he gives a look at Punk and says, go right ahead. And then when Punk's going over to try and hit the GTS, bam, he gets a spear on Punk, and then he pulls Seth on top of Punk, and it's like, okay, this is the grand plan all along. And he even threw in one last spear to get one over on Punk, and Seth says, ha ha ha, I fooled you. I was willing to take a spear to get one over Punk.
No. Seth Rollins has to reveal that he was wearing a metal plate, and that absorbed the entire. That absorbed the spear. Now that's a callback, folks.
There you go.
I do wonder if the next couple weeks of TV are Heyman trying to convince Punk to join the Vision, join in with him, that they're done with Rollins. They want to get he wants to get the band back together with Punk. He's got these two guys flanking him. They'll support him in the title match instead of Rollins. So trying to earn his trust in the next couple weeks via Heyman and Punk's relationship, and then ultimately spinning it on his head the second he actually starts to trust them. Like, maybe we even get a 6-man match of the Vision and Punk versus somebody else, or whoever you could put them against, to try to sell that even deeper. And then it's like, oh my God, Heyman got it over on Punk one more time. That's the only way that I could see it make sense, is if they're trying to sell Punk on the Vision, for lack of a better term.
Well, I doubt he's going to buy that.
You got about a good chance of selling these Punk on a Tony Khan fan shirt.
I just don't know. I hope they prove me wrong, but like right now, it just looks like a whole pile of ass the way that they executed the finish to the Vision.
Well, so if he's actually hurt,
by the way, is like months, maybe even a year premature. You could have had this thing going until Bron Breakker held that title himself. And I think that's where a lot of us thought that was going to be the case. If he is actually hurt, Micah, like you said, no real problem with it. I respect the urgent pivot, and you can just skip ahead to that when Rollins gets back. But I really don't know, based on what they did with the cash-in. Like, now you have all these lines blurred because you already faked this shit once. So that's where I'm at. I
hate to say it, that as great as a moment as it was, the faking it was even kind of stupid. Like, oh, Punk, yes, you let your guard down. What? Like that was it was very dumb. Like, I'm sorry. It was a great moment. We were there for it. We saw the Tron. We loved
every second of it. But like, if Punk had a good couple minutes to get the hell out of there is all.
It wasn't even necessary. He had the briefcase the whole darn time. I mean, what Punk had just been through a grueling match. What did it matter whether he thought Seth was injured or not?
Exactly. But anyway, that's my only problem with it.
But in this particular instance,
real reason.
Now he has a little bit more of a reason, because he has the
right.
ability to make Punk think he's not going to have any allies going into this match.
You made sense of it, because what they could do is, if let's say they executed that, what he would be like is, first I convinced you that like I wasn't even going to be involved, and then I convinced you like you had nothing to worry about, like you'll never like understand, like as long as like, because you don't have my vision, you don't have my revolutionary, like, bullshit. You could definitely do it. It is, I will say, to pull a Ramsey Bolton with Seth Rollins is definitely like asking a lot of the average WWE viewer to be like buying into and following along as far as standard traditional wrestling goes. I mean, this is not a popular storyline that like happens all the time. Like you said, you cited an example, Parthy, but that was like 27 years ago. I
think they might have be interesting to see. Something might have done similar with Triple H. I think somebody mentioned that offhand. I don't remember. But there's just so much of the same cloudiness going on. Like, there's no official reports about the injury. There's like people within WWE are believed that it's a shoulder injury. It's the same thing. They're seeing him going around backstage with his arm in a sling, but it's not even so bad that he has to have that sling when he's on TV or he's taking a spiel or a freaking tsunami.
I feel like with all due
Triple H, real creative.
Right.
Had to hit that.
respect to the chance that Seth and Becky are just having freaky sex while they work the whole roster.
I mean, we saw that belt photo back.
Let's face it, they work the dirt
Good Lord.
sheets, they work the fans. Now they're gonna work the roster. They've worked everybody. That's all I'm saying. So
working the bed frame too.
Yeah. Any other notes on the Vision situation, Seth?
All right.
I mean, we're gonna have to wait to see next week, right? How they come out.
Let's assume that it's legit. That by next week they're going to have to announce that the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be vacant because due to the spear and tsunami, Seth Rollins' arm is injured. He's going to be out X number of months. How do they handle that? Punk's already been named the number one contender in a match, which was curious why they went ahead with that match if they knew how severe this injury was. They had at least 48 hours after Crown Jewel to evaluate it. But let's just say it's legit. Let's just say that there's going to be a vacant championship. Do you simply put Punk versus Braun Breaker and put the title on Braun this soon, just like that?
I bet it's a multi-man match.
Oh,
I bet it ends up a multi-man match with one of the Vision members and one of LA Knight or Jey Uso, and they
make it a four-way. Had the three original,
four-way.
But then Punk gets essentially screwed out of his one-on-one shot, and then it's a multi-man all over again, like they had it a couple of months ago.
That's what he came back to WWE for, is just to keep getting screwed.
The megastar is overdue for a belt. It's time to play the Rocket on LA Knight.
I mean, if any time, like, he's already still in the picture, and Micah, that scenario you laid out would be perfect to add the extra man to it, and not put it on Braun just yet and slow down that rocket ship.
Who are we kidding? Roman's gonna start politicking. He probably already has.
Roman's probably like, fuck Punk, put me in the match versus Braun, and I go over.
I doubt very much Roman is going to want to politic for the runner-up belt, as he once called it.
This is true. Yeah, this is the guy that had them both unified and then called it a runner-up. So
yo, Oos.
Just one belt, Oos.
Let's see. I'm trying to see how many championship nights matches has LA Knight been in besides the Fatal 4-Way. One other one.
I think one against Roman straight up.
He had one against Seth Rollins on a Raw. It looks like at Barclays a couple months ago.
Oh yeah, that's where Seth almost stomped him into the pavement, and Punk actually interfered.
Yeah, true.
And he got upset because you stopped my match, and Punk's like, "Well, I saved your life, basically."
It's probably three then, right?
That was kind of a fact. I'm not gonna lie. He did kind of save his life there. All right, can't go further. But yeah, there was that one against the GOAT era Roman Reigns, and yeah, we'll see. Speaking of GOATs and speaking of entertainment, TNA Bound for Glory. Micah, you give this a watch. I know Slick picked up a couple pieces. I saw a couple pieces.
I saw a little bit. I did see the main event. I'm very happy for Mike Santana. It was well overdue. I mean, I thought they were going to do it when they were in New York a couple months ago. So everybody kind of thought, Bound for Glory comes around in Lowell, that it's going to be Santana's time. Talk about a guy who, I mean, just how impressive, like, to come from where he was in AEW, like as a tag team guy with Jericho, like a great tag team. Don't get me wrong, but they had their own issues, and then he just bet on himself. He goes out on the indies, does all the work, makes himself a big name, goes back to TNA, and really, like, this is you don't get to see tag team guys really establish themselves like this a lot of times, where he feels like a legit top star of a major company. But that's what it was. It was a crowning, and it was a great moment. It was, and all the, and some of it worthy, the shit talk of TNA, getting, having to put over NXT talent all the time, to have him have this moment over Trick Williams, who is the biggest men's star in NXT, arguably the biggest men's star in NXT, and the one with the most cachet with the audience and everything. Just such a nice moment for Santana, and just really, really exciting to see. But the best thing that I watched on that show was Leon Slater and Javon Evans. I mean, that's my type of wrestling. Just the pace, those two are going to be really special for a long time. Like it was just a snapshot to the future of probably WWE right in front of you there with those two. It was an incredible sprint of a bout. I don't have much to say about the tag team match. Those are the 3 matches I watched. I don't have much to say about
interesting. No comment.
Wait, you mean the
what's
Hardys
going
and
on?
Team 3D?
I don't-
Not much to say about that.
I don't have much to say about that.
My
You
only
think
take
it was
on it was
good?
going to be I thought it
was
was
fine.
kind of a good ending. I thought it was a
It
good
was
ending.
good. It
for
was
It
them.
was
fine. It was
fine.
good.
I thought the ending was a little corny, but like you had your classic spots, and at the end of the day, that's what it was for. It was nice to see these guys do it one final time. I have to say, Mike, I wasn't watching live, but during the Javon Evans match, that is all I was seeing on the damn timeline was talk about that. So I'm going to have to check out those 2 young blokes. Sure, they put on a show. And then, yeah, like you said, perfect moment for Santana. You knew that the way that Trick Williams was holding this TNA title for an extended period of time, actually. And like this whole invasion thing they kind of tried to do, that like whenever this did change hands back to a TNA star, it would have to be like a pretty big moment. And I'm pretty sure they saved it for the right one. Very happy for Santana there. It was a dope moment.
What did
Speaking
you
of
think
big-
of afterwards? They had obviously a nice moment with Santana's daughter, him handing her the title. But in the middle of that, of course, was a combination of Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian attempting to cash in their Call Your Shot, which they co-won earlier in the night. They had the Bret Hart Lex Luger special where they had co-winners apparently, and they both tried to cash in at the same time. And for one reason or another, got thwarted. One of them by a returning Elias, now Elijah, by the way. And
Yeah,
the other one was in the ring, but he needed to have the physical trophy, like you need to have the physical Money in the Bank briefcase in order to cash in. And Santana just took him out.
I'm sorry, Elijah needs a Royal Rumble spot this coming year. It needs to happen.
Absolutely.
I won't even watch NXT
And Ezekiel.
when the lights and Ezekiel. That would be crazy if they went Mankind and had Ezekiel, Elias, and Elijah all enter the Rumble.
Elias and Elijah are essentially the same guy. Now, I mean,
No,
they're literally the same guy.
no,
Not like
no,
Ezekiel and Elijah are the same guy.
They've been in multiple family photos together. Let's just stop it right there. But I don't even watch NXT that much. But when I saw that the lights went out in that Thunderdome and I heard the guitar go, I was like, wow, that's special, man.
That is special.
Jake, you saw the Leon Slayer Javon Evans match. What did you think of the ending where they had extended 5 minutes because they went to a 20-minute draw, and then they just had Dark State come out and ruin the whole thing to basically make it a known contest so that nobody basically got pinned or looked weak or whatever the heck. I mean, it was a TNA X Division title match, and Leon Slayer was the champion. So if Javon Evans won that match, it would have been another TNA title on an NXT talent, which they already have enough of that as it is.
You know, I see people a lot getting very annoyed with the Dark State interference and everything else, and to that I say that they're doing their job. Like that, they're the heel faction who's tried to mess these things up. So I wanted to see a conclusion to it. I thought Leon was just going to go over because they've not been afraid to have Javon take pins in NXT. So I figured maybe this is an opportunity for it. But like, man, if you're trying to establish this group as what they're trying to do with Dark State, like, yeah, have them mess up the fan favorite match that everybody is looking forward to and that you know is going to steal the show and everything else. I don't mind it. But you know,
well, I mean, there's a difference between heel heat and booking heat, because at this point, I don't think they're very much getting over. The Dark State seems to be like one step below the MFTs as far as people caring about them from a heel or babyface perspective.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cap. Don't go looking for
is
it.
that because you love the MFTs? Because they're way higher on that list for you.
No, they're down, and Dark State seems to be, people aren't buying Dark State. They
aren't.
When they interfered, people were booing the booking of the match rather than booing Dark State, and there's a difference between that.
All right,
fair.
I got something to say.
Shut up, bitches.
Yeah.
Because it's time for Trainwreck Trivia presented by Batavia.
Batavia down is more, lots more.
Thank gosh.
About the tag match that Micah doesn't want to talk about. The tag match from TNA Bound for Glory. The Hardys had an amazing moment 8 years ago when they returned over 8 years ago, 8 years and 7 months, 6 months, when they returned at WrestleMania 33. Who were the other 3 tag teams in that match?
So we got the bar,
Ooh.
right? This
One is
our
bar is
own.
correct. Yep.
Enzo and Big Bill. I forget what his
Enzo
name
and Big
was
Bill.
technically.
Big Bill right where he belongs in the middle of a ring at WrestleMania.
And then, oh man, what was the last one?
These guys were like kind of like the Swiss Army knife of the tag division from like, yeah, I'd say what, 2017 to now? Or no, like
Oh,
2020.
hmm.
I
Oh
Now.
man.
It wasn't the New Day because the New Day announced,
The
who
New
was
Day
going to be.
announced-
They never fully activated in like WWE. They were a sick tag team. They never like reached their non-WWE heights in WWE, I would say. They were in a way they were the Usos to a Roman Reigns, but it obviously wasn't Roman Reigns or the Usos.
Who the heck? I really can't think of this.
Oh man, it's killing me.
Yeah, it's making me mad.
Yeah.
And their faction was called out at Perth, Crown Jewel, by the ring announcer.
Bullet Club?
These. So it's Bullet Club guys. Is that right?
Oh, Gallows and Anderson.
Yeah, it's
the Good Brothers.
Gallo and
Your
Wow.
brothers.
Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, before New Day goes in to make the announcement, obviously, which was greatly done by them, where they were kind of teasing that it could have been them.
oh my
coming into
god!
the
And
match as
Michael
well.
Cole's like, I think they might be in this match.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was good.
You
Solid
can't just
stuff.
put yourself in the match as the host.
Who
Train-
the Hardys wrestled the night before they showed up to WrestleMania?
Oh, Young Bucks in Florida,
Yes,
right?
Young Bucks in
Yep.
a ladder war. Back-to-back nights of ladder matches on the Hardys, even 8 years ago, is just like, man, you guys are
Dude,
balls.
for the absolute love of the game, for sure. There's a reason.
That is what I will say about the tag match. I'm just not a fan of old man wrestling. That's all it is. Just they just not move it. Seeing them move like that while they got the spots and everything, great. But respect to them for putting it on the line, because there were some crazy spots and some crazy bumps in that.
I mean, you've seen
I was not
Undertaker
expecting.
Goldberg. Like, you've seen how that could happen. Like that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I just think it's so rare in wrestling that you get like a storybook ending that actually like makes sense. And the Dudleys going out in a tables match to the Hardys is like as close as you can actually like get.
That's very true.
For sure. So I would take that. Slick snuck this in.
Hardys-
Our guy Takeshita with a little bit of gold. So he's gonna be bringing this on Dynamite tonight.
He better.
It might be a tough tale, right? Getting all the way back that quick, but I don't know.
But
It's so-
IWGP champion. I feel like this is the first step towards eventually AEW championship and probably WWE championship, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, are you?
Ooh.
Is that a hot take?
Yeah, future Triple Crown champion.
Oh my
That'd be
god,
crazy.
Triple Crown with those 3 companies is
Because
crazy.
think about it, if he's an IWGP champion and an AEW champion, Paul ain't gonna be able to hold back from dropping
You
a
can't.
bag.
Yeah, no, you can't ignore that. How old is this guy? Like he's only like 25, right?
That's what I'm saying. Isn't he in his
Yeah.
late 20s?
Yeah,
I believe he's
30 years
definitely got
old. 30
time.
years old. Just
30,
right there.
yep.
But
Okay,
let's face
okay.
it, in WWE world, you could be main eventing in your 40s. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, we're
I mean,
talking
multiple-
about like,
Pretty much all main eventers are in their 40s.
Multiple
That's what
people
I'm
are.
saying.
So yeah.
And by the way, did John Cena ever have the athleticism of like a Takeshita? Like absolutely no shot. So I'm sorry.
Hey, so Jake, what's the story with Takeshita in New Japan? Didn't they like not want him at the beginning, like years ago, and now he's their champion? Ironically enough.
Yeah, at first they because he didn't train in the dojo,
was
and
kinda like
they
the Cody
really love their
Rhodes
dojo
situation,
guys.
right?
So he basically, what's that?
It was kind of like a Cody Rhodes situation, right? Like he like left and like proved himself elsewhere, and now he's like hard to ignore.
Yeah, so I think he started or tried to train in the dojo, and they didn't want him. So then he basically went everywhere else in Japan, started doing some in the States, DDT, got to Noah, everything else, and just basically built up his name outside, and was the biggest Japanese name outside of New Japan, where it became basically undesirable to undeniable, and now in the position that he's in now. So it is a crazy come up for him. And a lot of it, honestly, you got to thank Kenny Omega, because Omega is the guy who has
laid the groundwork.
That's his mentor. That's laid the groundwork, like has been with him every step of the way. Like I'm sure that working on that relationship, and probably the change in leadership too, like with Tanahashi taking over in New Japan, helped a lot. But I mean, he's like, if you look at the New Japan roster, this is the guy who deserves it, like to be champion, and is one of the premier wrestlers in the world. So,
and getting put over by arguably like one of the, if not their top guy in Zack Sabre Jr., who a lot of people consider like one of the best in the world. So no slight there. Maniac, what you got?
No, I'm clueless. So is Tanahashi like, because this is where I get like kayfabed, because this is almost like a foreign sports.
It's kind of like the Bill Russell.
But is this okay? So he's Bill Russell. He doesn't actually like, he didn't start buying New Japan and now like owns.
Oh no, he's the president of New Japan.
I see that he's president, but
he's effectively like Paul Levesque.
He's like triple.
He's kind of like Paul Levesque.
He's like almost like Paul Levesque at this point to New Japan.
But like, it's like Paul Levesque if he was still wrestling on the Raw, like corporation Paul.
So you're telling me he's like 2010, it's early 2010s Triple H.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Except like
have to marry a daughter.
Except like a nice version that literally everyone likes and like doesn't hate at all.
And now with all of my heart, I kind of want John Cena to be like a Vince McMahon in like 10 years, like the like begrudging like owner who like owns it and like comes back and has to assert his will on WWE.
Has to hit everyone with an F5.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can you imagine everyone getting five knuckle shuffle?
Jesus Christ. I'm all blendered with the Cena retirement tour.
This whole week has me better. The Cena retirement tour. We didn't even have that on here. How did we feel about the recent rumblings there? Certain pebble is rolling down the hill.
Oh yeah, a certain someone wants in.
Slick and I said it on Trainwreck today. It's lazy. It's absolutely like they're grabbing for something they didn't even work to create. At the end of the day, it would probably be incredible, and it would probably be a great production. At the end of the day,
did you see how backed up the ticket sales for that last match in Washington, D.C. are? They could probably fill a baseball stadium with the amount of people that want to buy tickets.
Why didn't they? It is December.
Very curious. I get, yeah. So unless they already booked Washington, so unless they want to rebook it in another city that actually has a domed stadium, then they gotta stay with their
I'm just
arena.
saying it was kind of crazy for them to not like think that they could have done that with Cena's last match, but maybe it was his request. I don't know. When's this originally going to be in Boston and then it got switched?
Well, the Boston was in the bidding, and basically DC bid higher because TKO was about maximizing their profits. Essentially,
that actually happened. They bid for this last match.
Well, Boston's one of the remaining dates, but it's not the last date anymore because DC bid higher apparently.
What losers! I'm sorry.
I just can't believe that Cena's going out on a Saturday night main event. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Could have had his own pay-per-view. They could have created a
literally
whole
could have had his own PLE.
Yeah.
Own PLE in Boston. You damn near could have done the football stadium.
You want a hot take? And this is kind of a hot take. R.I.P. His perfect ending match would have been his final match against like Bray Wyatt, or his WrestleMania match against the Fiend. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect ending match for his career, because he could have gone through all the transformation of all like the roads that he could have been, and then he just loses. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it should have been. But we'll see. Because I don't know. I just feel like they have nowhere to go. What, are they going to give him a little upward trajectory here as like an underdog? Because he
would have been like the only opponent that it would have been okay for Cena to like lose his final match. I will say that. Like, you do it any other way, like just straight up, it goes out to the sunset. It's like,
I mean, like, did they hate Kurt Angle at that point? I mean, who the hell thought that was a good idea?
Vince just wanted to put over Corbin.
That was so stupid.
I think Vince just loved Corbin. It was just like,
what was up with that? I mean, this dude's beating Roman Reigns and shit too. Like, come on,
ridiculous.
Besides any final bosses that might want to, interject themselves, the rumor is Gunther would be.
And Parthi, what on earth is the thing there? They've neutered this Gunther for the past year. The Gunther is a shell of his former self. He tapped out. He got beat by a CM Punk. There's nothing for me to think that that they're going to be.
He's been champion 80% of the time, like they've been saying. I don't think they neutered or buried him or anything.
All right, well, Jey Uso is champion. If he was facing Cena, would that be like exciting?
Jey Uso made Gunther tap like a baby real quick.
What would be
wasn't the
your
first
match
time.
right now if you could pick like out of anything? What would be your guys' last match for Cena?
Edge.
Fair.
Zach and I were talking about this earlier today,
I would put Breaker in that position.
and I
That's
not a
elevate him
bad
even
one.
more.
I kind of want Maniac to lay out like his scenario. He was like
For
laying
what?
out
For
like
and
how you
Cena's
build
last
like these
match.
last 3 dates / matches with Cena, and then how you like bring in an Edge
Yeah.
or Rock at the end of it.
Well, you just have them be one of them be the final boss, and then you could build it out and have Cena be like, I need to like, dedicate myself to like the hustle, loyalty, and respect that like was what built my career, like stuff like that. Then he could have like a match or 2 on Raw. Like he does have the 4 appearances or whatever, right? You get in a Zack Ryder, a Cardona, who you now have access to. You get something like that. Someone who's like a mid-carder, and it would make sense for him to like beat eventually, even though he could have a good match.
I think they were asking Dominic Mysterio would he want to challenge Cena.
He would be the good in between. If you have the first one be Cardona, and then you have the second or second to last appearance be like a win over Dom Mysterio, and then the end is either Edge or The Rock.
It's like perfect for Cena to like be like, let me build myself up with these guys so I can be at my 100% best self for a mystery final opponent, whoever Triple H chooses to give me. And in reality, we all know he's picking himself, but like one of those 2 guys with no announcement whatsoever. I feel like it has to be one of those 2.
So what WWE should do is act like John Cena getting the spotlight right now is not best for business. So they're not prioritizing his. It would actually be funny. It would actually be funny and entertaining. So they're like, dude, you're not like you haven't won a match. You're like ratings suck. Like we're gonna have to wait. He's like, all right, I'm gonna like build my way back up, and he starts having like good backstage segments. He has a match, and then this is what we do. So Triple H says your ratings suck. We're not gonna push you or anything. I'll decide your opponent like at for your last match. You can do whatever you want in between. So he says, I'm gonna dedicate myself to hustle, loyalty, respect. I'm gonna be back and doing backstage segments, having fun, and I am bringing back the open challenge. That was one of the best stages of John Cena's career. If you want some, come get some. First opponent, Matt Cardona. Second opponent, Dom Mysterio. Final opponent, when they reveal him, it's either Edge or The Rock in a surprise entrance from Triple H announcing him.
Where do you get this booking from? Why would he?
I mean, Parthy, you got anything better than that?
No, I do agree that the bad for ratings part like is a bit of a reach, but yeah, no, in terms of how the match is laid it out.
Like, think about the whole buildup of Cena not having a WrestleMania match because, like, Undertaker wasn't showing up. Like, that was
your point, but you just can't come out of like an entire building of yellow Cenas and winning over the phenomenal AJ Styles. So, like, hey, dude, actually, your ratings suck. Those guys are all just plants in the crowd. Like, we put them there. They weren't fans.
To be honest, that actually would be amazing. Like, John, I can't. No, like John, like corporate said, we can't keep dedicating like $100,000 budgets to the entrance. That would be fucking funny. And you're telling me that you're telling me that wouldn't blur the lines of kayfabe, like with how TKO's been with the spending and everything. Like that would be funny.
You lost all your real fans with this shitty heel turn, John. We can't keep doing this anymore.
That guy sold you on bad TV. Well, guess what? You got it.
You know how much all those yellow shirts cost to put on those fans?
Too much, John. Come on. You get nothing.
Yeah, like John, we did 38 different shirts, so none of them really sold too well because there were 38 different versions.
You know how many shirts we produced, John?
All right.
Okay, comedy segment's over.
On deck with Dynamite.
Keep that shit for AEW.
On deck with WrestleDream. Oh, hey, Parthy, get out of here. With that said, we got.
For the record, I want it to be Roman Reigns, and I want Roman to just smash him and just that would be kind of funny too.
There is a report coming out that Rey Mysterio
has to win his last match. I hate to say it.
Rey Mysterio is on his way back from his groin tear that he's had since WrestleMania, and some people are saying, well, you can expect him versus Dominic at Survivor Series because it's going to be in San Diego. But what instead, if maybe Rey Mysterio is not yet set, what about Dom versus Cena for the IC title in San Diego for
you know what would
Survivor
be sick
Series?
is if they ran that and then Ray came back to screw Dom on like Cena's final run. I don't know if you do it for the IC title then, and then that makes things a little complicated because do you want Cena going out with an IC title? But honestly, it's not the worst.
In that case, a good way to get the belt off of him would be to run a gauntlet for his last match. And you can have like 5 or 6 different opponents and have Gunther be the last one and he beats him.
Yeah.
Nah.
See that.
Yeah.
I just can't get past this going out on Gunther. Like I don't want
Gunther is I'm sorry. What are we doing? Like if we're gonna go out to Gunther, we shouldn't have Gunther tap like a bitch at WrestleMania, and we shouldn't have him lose to like a wounded corpse at SummerSlam. Like that was what was going on there. And by the way, let's not forget that with Rey Mysterio was involved in basically the most heel moment of John Cena's career, when he challenged him to a championship match on a Raw right after Rey Mysterio won his first WWE championship on like the first match and then defeats him in the main event. CM Punk returns. That really was the most heel moment of John Cena's career. Like that challenge was completely irrational.
I remember that night. Triple H tried to explain it. Both men have agreed that this match needs to take place tonight. It's like, come on. Did Ray really agree to that?
But speaking of matches needing to take place, I know we have a Dynamite tonight, but I want to wrap this up in a couple minutes here. So we have WrestleDream this Saturday. We got quite a card on tap.
Night,
we got quite a card on tap. Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. I Quit match. Is Jon Moxley finally going to take a vacation?
I doubt it.
No,
it seems like a good platform to give him one.
I know, but I don't. Unless Darby gets like all the super friends together this week to help him out, it just feels like it's going to be the numbers game again against him.
Could be.
I mean, unless he's allowed
Darby
to
does
fall
have
off
a
the wagon
flamethrower
again. His only other addiction is getting bled like a stuck pig every other week. So he's
someone's getting set on fire though. Like Darby had a Molotov cocktail last week, guys. Like
it's not going to be pretty.
It's something crazy going to happen with some fire.
Hangman Page versus Samoa Joe. Not gonna lie, it's been such a weird last like 18 to 24 months in wrestling that I forget that 18 to 24 months ago Samoa Joe was the AEW champion. So obviously that's a legitimate match. Chris Statler versus Tony Storm. I expect Timeless Tony to put her over here, right? I mean, you're not gonna have her win the match and then win it back after you. I feel like there's gonna be some kind of classic maneuver there. And this is AEW getting back to what I love. This is what we need more of. Winners receive a $500,000 cash prize. Jurassic Express. I'm sorry. This is great. Like we need to give stakes to like the
winner's
actual
purse,
matches
baby.
of winners purse. Like I'll never forget the first episode of AEW I watched. Chris Jericho was walking like to the ring or whatever with the Inner Circle. Like the first one I watched on TV, I'd seen highlights and everything like that. First one I watched on TV, he's walking to the ring with him, and he's like, things change when you're not, getting that championship money, boys. Like, like they're talking about like why the Santana and Ortiz would like stick up for Jericho because they wanted to be part of that like financial like downline. So it just made it make sense. I like it.
And it's even better with like how the Bucks, ever since they've lost the EVP status, they were broke. Now they're rich. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. They were rich. Then they were broke again. Then they got rich. And Nick blew all their winnings from that last $500,000 match in the casino the same night. So they lost their music again.
It was great to see them banging on the door like, we need another money match. God,
wait. They're banging on Tony Khan's door. Where is Tony Khan during the show? He's in fucking Gorilla. Why are you banging on his office?
It's a pre-tape.
Partham, have they not done multiple segments in WWE where they show Vince McMahon's damn office door? I don't want to hear that fucking bullshit out of your mouth.
That's very fair, Parthy.
The last time we saw Vince, last time they had Vince in like a actual segment, was it Roman was upset because Brock's had some part-time schedule and he marches right back into Gorilla where Vince was sitting right there?
Austin Theory was reporting.
It was the last one I remember is
what about the golden egg? What about the golden egg?
Report to
the last one I remember is Rollins on his desk jumping around waiting for the WrestleMania
in his office, but that was a total pre-tape.
Yeah, well, that was
again.
performance.
Parthy, come on, here.
We can pull up multiple images.
I'm saying if you're trying to say that is like an AEW blemish, and that hasn't been happening throughout the history of WWE and with Stephanie McMahon's office, Eric Bischoff's office, Shane McMahon's office, Vince McMahon's office, all these guys all throughout history. Adam Pierce's office. Like
Just a
yeah,
dumbass.
that's
And Pierce has never been depicted as being in Gorilla. He's the general manager. He's never been running
So now you're
the
deflecting.
Gorilla position.
it's a little bit of both.
Well, we've
Okay.
seen guys on more than one occasion go right back into Gorilla, and they walk right back Tony Khan. Like remember when MJF was running scared from the Hurt Syndicate because he was afraid he was about to get beat up. He was hiding behind the desk where Tony Khan was.
We have also
in
seen
case-
That was mere months ago.
We have also seen Triple H and Gorilla mere months ago, dude.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be in an office during the
He's
show.
done an office
It
before.
was, but it was a pre-tape.
Oh my god.
Was it a
dude.
pre-tape? I don't remember
Yes.
it saying
Oh my
pre-tape.
God. I'm actually
When
gonna
does it say
end this.
pre-tape
This
on
is
the
this
screen?
is
Come
one
on.
of the dumbest arguments in the show's history
This is-
about
Well, I mean, like,
kayfabe-
it's just clear
on
that
who
part
should
of
be
the only
in
season-
kayfabe Gorilla. Like unbelievable.
The
Steven
most
Denver.
interesting thing
Hello
match
from
on
Denver.
Hi,
that card.
Steve.
Hi, Steven.
Hi
Denver,
guys. Hi Steve.
Is going back to Takeshita. He's tagging with Okada to go for the tag team titles. I feel like we've been moving towards this Okada Takeshita match at some point. I don't know if it happens in AEW. I think that could be the Tokyo Wrestle Kingdom match.
I hope
I think
so,
that could
honestly.
be
That
the
deserves to be a
IWGP headliner at Tokyo Dome.
That
and-
deserves to be a Tokyo Dome match.
John
That's what I'm
Cena
saying.
against Kenny Omega. Omega is the last opponent.
Oh my god, can you freaking imagine?
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Hey,
Is it Jericho? Is it just gonna be Jericho? Like,
I mean that
Dude,
would
if-
actually not be horrific, but it would
Well,
be
he
great
did, he
either.
did hit the walls of Jericho, but I will say that would be an absolute ball drop for like the last opponent.
He
Like,
wasn't
would
even a big Cena rival.
It
Ever.
would be that would be cool for like Maniac's idea, like on Raw, like you get it, like he's doing the open challenge, and you still get another mystery, but it's not like the end of all end, the final boss. No pun intended.
We got-
Totally
Hey,
not.
we're talking about Takeshita and Omega or Okada. Speaking of other members of the Don Callis family, why are you putting me on isolation?
I was giving you
Uh,
the spotlight.
I just want to ask you guys a question. Where the heck is Andrade since we last seen him?
They'll probably be on
Wasn't,
Andrade,
it, wasn't it
yeah.
like
He's
2
not-
weeks ago he came back?
Andrade also he also apparently is skipping out of an indie booking too.
Major
he
League
just had, so I
ML
don't.
is against LA Park, I think at Major League Wrestling or MLA or something like that.
Yeah, Major League. Yeah, so I don't. Andrade, you know what? Andrade just does his thing, bro. He just does his thing.
They haven't even put him on the AEW roster page.
He's
Who knows? Maybe
real
he's not
worker,
signed.
bro.
Oh,
Real
no.
worker.
Now that would
People
be,
are showing the meme of Aaron Rodgers coming
Cena
out for his
versus-
debut
There
game against the Jets, as saying there's Andrade's latest
Yes.
AEW run.
That is his latest. By the way, wasn't there some smoke around this potentially happening? Like at least some
No.
at least some
Vince?
kind of
No.
return.
No.
Some kind of return wasn't there?
I
There
love the
was
rib shot, but
smoke,
that's
yes.
like
Actually,
There was
yeah,
smoke
no.
that like people backstage have like resigned themselves to the idea that he was going to be coming back at some point for the Cena storyline, right? Like just to like at least acknowledge him or something, right?
I'm guessing
Listen-
Cena wants it to happen.
That's what that's what
if
I'm saying.
anyone,
That
Cena
one of
wants to happen.
the dirt sheet said Saparthi. Is that not true, or there is some smoke?
no, there's no smoke. They may have been
Okay, I
the
just-
lawyers may have been able to clear Brock's name out of the whole litigation. No,
Well, they
no.
did.
I
They
will
certainly did. They certainly didn't clear that.
You want
so-
you
Going
want
back to the
Karrion Cross?
Jericho.
You got him.
Going back to the Jericho piece, Cena's first pay-per-view match was Vengeance 2002 against Chris Jericho.
Oh man, that would be bad.
I mean,
the
yeah,
problem
that
is
could
just
happen
for me.
any week
not
now.
viewed
Then
as,
he
like,
was-
unless Matthew McConaughey comes out and says sometimes to move forward you have to go back, and then the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 hits, I'll be like,
If the countdown hit, I would pop. I'm not.
the
gonna lie.
countdown is
I-
yeah. What are the all right? Let's put a final odds. This over under 90 days before the countdown hits on WWE TV.
I'm going under.
under.
Partha, you think he'll be back before the Royal Rumble?
That Rumble might be the perfect place to debut him.
yeah,
just out of
that's-
nowhere.
That's
So,
true.
90 is the
I'm
perfect
just putting it
over.
over. We don't even know when his contract
That's what I'm
expires.
saying.
Do
All
we?
right, a lot in the air. Thank you for holding on to it in the air with us here on Wrestling with Emotion. Shout out Ripshot for tuning in. Cena versus Bull Buchanan. That would be a matchup. Cena and a squasher for his final would be great. Shout out our head of the table, Mike Partham, your friend, our friend, my friend, Jake Micah, Saturday, Slick L, and myself, Maniac. Also, folks, make sure our sponsor, Batavia Downs. There is no better place for entertainment in the region. Make sure you get Batavia Downs for the amazing slots, bar, all kinds of more entertainment. Batavia Downs to win more, lots more. Thank you for tuning in on the show where it's not wrestling with your budget. It's not wrestling with your conscience. It is wrestling with emotion.